They said Shedeur wasn't a leader. They said he was arrogant. Yet when 65,000 fans watched a rookie kicker choke, Shedeur was the only one who stepped up, and 4.9 million people saw it.
Shedeur Sanders broke the damn internet without even trying. So we know the Cleveland Browns unfortunately took a loss to the Cincinnati Bengals. Now in that loss, a lot of people was pointing fingers at their kicker. Well, Shedeur Sanders made it his business to, go speak to the kicker. Now with all that being said, Kevin Stefanski opened up about the kicker as well in a press conference, and he had some things to say about the kicker, and I know a lot of people is definitely speaking about this whole kicker situation in the media, and a lot of people is actually justifying Joe Flacco throwing him 2 damn picks too. We ain't forgot about that.
It is the sickest feeling you can imagine, because your mistake hurts so many other people, and it is hard to shake it off.
While everyone's talking about missed kicks and blown games, Shedeur Sanders just did something that has the entire NFL world buzzing, and he wasn't even suited up. Picture this. Cleveland's rookie kicker Andre Szmyt just cost the Browns a winnable game against Cincinnati. Fans are calling for his head, and the locker room is dead silent. But instead of walking away like most players would, Shedeur Sanders walks straight up to the devastated kicker and does something that's got everyone, from analysts to haters, completely shook.
It is the sickest feeling you can imagine, because your mistake hurts so many other people, and it is hard to shake it off. It is the sickest.
Now this post stated, Shedeur Sanders daps up the Browns kicker after he just lost them the freaking game. He wants the starting spot now after a loss. Good person, with the caption, but Shedeur doing this is a solid. It's just a solid, because I'm pretty sure the young man is frustrated himself. He missed a kick. He cost them the damn game. And, instead of them going to get quarterbacks, you need to be focusing on your special teams. Because they ain't nobody saying nothing about special teams, bro.
But what did he say to Andre Szmyt in that moment? And why are people now saying this single gesture proves Shedeur is more ready for the NFL than anyone thought? Because, bro, when even Tony Grossi is admitting they saw this kicker problem coming from a mile away, and Kevin Stefanski is looking frustrated as hell in press conferences, Shedeur's move just hit different. Listen, y'all know me. I keep it real with you. And what went down in Cleveland on September 7th wasn't just about football. This was about character, leadership, and why Shedeur Sanders is about to flip the entire narrative around his name. But first, let me tell you exactly what happened, because the details will blow your mind.
This was amazing. The picks are not on Flacco. Catch the damn ball. But what we worried about before this game started came to fruition. Chris, did we think the defense was going to be good?
We did.
Did we think Flacco was going to be good?
Yes, we did.
Okay. Did we think we were in trouble with a rookie kicker?
Unfortunately, we did.
Fine.
So check this out. The Browns are playing their season opener at home. 65,599 fans packed into Cleveland Browns Stadium. And everybody's hyped, because this was supposed to be their year, right? Joe Flacco's the starter. They got a solid defense, with Myles Garrett doing Myles Garrett things, and Andre Szmyt, this rookie kicker from the UFL who beat out veteran Dustin Hopkins, was supposed to be their special team solution. But here's where it gets crazy. Shedeur Sanders, the son of Coach Prime himself, is sitting on that bench as the emergency third-string quarterback. Dude didn't even dress for the game. Yet what happened next would generate 4.9 million views across social media platforms and completely change how people look at this young man. The game's tight. Bengals leading 17-16 with 2:25 left on the clock. Browns drive down the field, and they're in perfect position. All they need is a 36-yard field goal. That's basically an extra point in today's NFL, and they win their season opener. Easy. Money, right? Wrong. Andre Szmyt lines up, the crowd's going wild, and wide right. Just like that, the season opener's gone. The rookie who started the game by nailing a 45-yard field goal for his first NFL score just choked when it mattered most. Now, I want y'all to really understand what's going through this young man's head right now. Andre Szmyt later admitted he rushed his process on both kicks. He'd also missed an extra point earlier that would have tied the game. This dude's sitting. They're knowing he just cost his teammates a game they should have won. The cameras are on him, 65,000 fans are probably thinking he's trash, and social media is about to destroy his life. You know what most players do in that moment? They walk away. They avoid eye contact. They let the guy deal with his demons alone because that's just how it is in professional sports. You win together, but sometimes you fail alone. But not Shedeur Sanders. While everyone else is processing the loss, while coaches are probably thinking about what they're going to say in the press conference, Shedeur Sanders. Remember, this dude didn't even play a single snap. Walked straight up to Andre Szmyt and daps him up. No cameras forced this moment. No PR team told him to do it. This was pure, authentic leadership. And here's what's crazy. The whole thing gets caught on camera and posted by @TailoredSedesky with the caption, "Shedeur with the most aura for a QB ever." But it was at SM Highlights One's post that really sent this thing into orbit. Shedeur Sanders daps up the Browns kicker after he just lost them the freaking game, faced with tears of joy. He wants that starting spot now after a loss. Good person of him to do that though. LMAO, for 0.9 million views, y'all. For 0.9 million people watch Shedeur Sanders show more leadership in 10 seconds than some starting quarterbacks show all season. Now, let me break down why this isn't just some feel-good story. This is about narrative, perception, and why Shedeur Sanders just played chess while everyone else was playing checkers. See, coming into the NFL, Shedeur had question marks around his character. Draft analysts were questioning his leadership despite putting up insane numbers at Colorado. They said he had pocket presence issues, decision-making problems under pressure, and some were even whispering about attitude concerns because of his social media presence and famous daddy. Those concerns, combined with some technical critiques, caused him to fall all the way to the 5th round, 144th overall pick, when some projections had him going in the 1st round. The disrespect was real, and Cleveland got themselves a potential franchise quarterback for basically nothing. But here's the thing about Shedeur that his haters don't understand. The man's been dealing with pressure and criticism his entire life. You think growing up as Deion Sanders' son was easy? You think playing at Colorado with every move scrutinized prepared him for anything less than this? And speaking of pressure, let's talk about what Tony Grossi said, because this man called it before the game even started. Y'all heard it in that clip. Did we think we were in trouble with a rookie kicker? Unfortunately, we did. They saw this coming. The Browns coaching staff, the analysts, everybody knew Andre Szmyt was the weak link. But instead of addressing it properly, they rolled with the rookie in the biggest moment of his young career. That's not on Szmyt, that's on the organization. But you know what Shedeur Sanders saw? He saw a teammate who needed support. He saw a young man dealing with the same pressure and criticism he'd been facing his whole life. And instead of thinking about himself, instead of worrying about his own position or how it might look, he stepped up and showed real leadership. Now, when this video started going viral, the reactions were exactly what you'd expect. The supporters were loving it. Like a true leader, Shedeur went to check on him. Saw the same thing at Colorado after losses. How you keep the team together. But the haters? Oh man, they had jokes. "We can both get fired together" became a whole meme. People were clowning him for supporting a kicker who just lost them the game. But here's what the haters missed. This wasn't about the game. This was about being a teammate. This was about showing character when nobody's making you do it. And the fact that it went viral proved that people are starving for authentic leadership in sports. TikTok creators started making compilations. Instagram sports accounts couldn't stop posting about it. Reddit had entire threads breaking down the gesture frame by frame. Shedeur's existing 913,000 TikTok followers helped spread the content, but this reached way beyond his usual audience. Skip Bayless, never one to hold back, went completely off. If Shedeur had started yesterday for the Browns, they would have beaten the Bengals. Now, Skip's gonna skip, but he used this moment to highlight what a lot of people are thinking. Cleveland might be mishandling their most valuable asset. ESPN's Adam Schefter stayed diplomatic, but noted that Sanders needs to stay disciplined, because all eyes in Cleveland are on you. But even Schefter couldn't deny that this was a positive look for the young quarterback. The real endorsements came from people who actually know football. Bernie Kosar, Browns legend, praised Shedeur's work ethic. "I love how Sanders is handling stuff. He's out here an hour early. That's working out stuff. And then he's one of the last guys here signing autographs." His teammates are noticing too. Cornerback Greg Newsome too called Sanders amazing. and talked about his media skills, something he learned from Coach Prime himself. Sports Illustrated gave him an A+ grade in leadership for the gesture. Multiple outlets noted how this completely contradicted all those character concerns from the draft process. But let me tell you what's really going on here, because this story's about way more than one gesture. This is about how Shedeur Sanders is systematically changing the narrative around his name. Remember, this dude fell to the 5th round partly because of character questions. People said he was entitled, that he couldn't handle adversity, that playing for his daddy at Colorado didn't prepare him for Real football. But what did we see in this moment? We saw emotional intelligence. We saw a player who recognized when someone needed support and acted without thinking about cameras or consequences. We saw authentic leadership that you can't coach or fake. And here's the kicker, pun intended. This happened when Shedeur had absolutely nothing to gain. He's the 3rd-string quarterback. He's not playing. His stats aren't affected by this game. But he still chose to step up and be a leader. That's the kind of intangible quality that separates good players from great ones. That's the kind of character that wins championships. Now, let's keep it real about the quarterback situation in Cleveland. Joe Flacco threw 2 picks in this game. 2. And somehow, all the blame went to the kicker. Don't get me wrong. Szmyt's misses were costly. But Flacco's turnovers put them in that position to begin with. Meanwhile, Shedeur's sitting on the bench showing more leadership than the actual starter. And trust me, coaches notice stuff like this. Teammates notice. The organization notices. Kevin Stefanski defended both players after the game, but you could see the frustration. The man's trying to build a winning culture, and his starting quarterback's throwing picks while his 3rd-stringers showing championship-level character. How long before Browns fans start asking why Shedeur isn't getting a shot? How long before that emergency 3rd quarterback designation starts looking like a waste of talent? Here's what kills me about the whole pre-draft narrative around Shedeur. They questioned his character because he had a social media following. They questioned his toughness because his dad's famous. They questioned his leadership because he played at Colorado. But what they missed is that growing up in the spotlight actually prepared him for moments like this. Dealing with criticism his entire life taught him how to handle pressure. Playing for Coach Prime taught him what real leadership looks like. And when the moment came to show who he really is, when nobody was making him do anything, when he could have just sat there and worried about his own situation, he chose to lift up a teammate. That's not entitlement. That's not selfishness. That's the kind of character that franchise quarterbacks are built on. So where does this leave the Browns? They've got a character question mark at starter, a solid but aging backup, and a potential franchise quarterback. Sitting in 3rd place, showing more leadership than both of them combined. The viral moment did more than just rack up views. It started conversations. Browns fans are talking about Shedeur's readiness. Analysts are questioning the depth chart. Even casual fans who'd never heard of him before are now invested in his story. And here's the thing. This isn't going to be the last time Shedeur does something like this. This isn't a one-off moment or a lucky break. This is who he is. This is the character that Coach Prime instilled in him. The Browns got a steal in the 5th round, and moments like this are going to keep proving it. Let's talk numbers for a second because they tell the real story. 4.9 million views on one post alone. Countless more across TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. Sports Illustrated, Newsweek, ESPN, Yahoo Sports. Everybody covered this story. Why? Because in a world full of manufactured moments and PR-driven gestures, people recognize authenticity when they see it. Shedeur didn't know the cameras were rolling. He wasn't trying to create content. He just saw a teammate who needed support and acted on instinct. That's the kind of genuine leadership that cuts through all the noise. That's why this moment mattered more than any stat sheet or highlight reel. Look, I'm not saying Shedeur Sanders should be starting tomorrow. I'm not saying Joe Flacco should be benched after one bad game. What I'm saying is that when you have a player showing this kind of character, this kind of leadership, this kind of authentic care for his teammates, you better pay attention. The Browns organization talks about building a winning culture. They talk about finding players with the right character and work ethic. Well, they found one. He's sitting in 3rd place on the depth chart, but he's showing 1st place leadership. That gesture to Andre Szmyt wasn't just about supporting a kicker who had a bad day. It was about showing the entire organization what real leadership looks like. It was about proving that all those character concerns were nonsense. It was about demonstrating that Shedeur Sanders is ready for whatever the NFL throws at him. And judging by those 4.9 million views and counting, the football world is starting to take notice. Cleveland Browns fans, y'all might have your franchise quarterback already on the roster. He's just waiting for his chance to show you what he can do between the lines instead of just on the sidelines. So what do you think? Was Shedeur's gesture genuine leadership or just good PR? Should the Browns be giving him more opportunities? And most importantly, are we witnessing the early stages of a franchise quarterback's rise to stardom? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Smash that subscribe button if you want more content like this. And let's keep this conversation going because Shedeur Sanders' story is just getting started.